Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to cover a few methods to getting your dedicated storage sink into the floor. Some better than others. All of them have pros and cons. Let's go ahead and start with the first one over here. As you can see, this method, there's a little gap around on the walls. You have to do this. It's the only way to do it. And it shows you how flush it gets with the ceilings. It's just a little dip off of them, but not bad. Let's go ahead and move over to the second one. This one, they're sunk in a little bit more. It's not too bad. Not great, but it's pretty clean. And then the third gets them almost flush with the floor. As soon as you put your ceilings around it, should turn out really nice. You only have one little gap on the side, but it is what it is. You can't have perfection all the time. Then the fourth method, you're a little above the floor, but it's really cheap to do and very effective. So let's go ahead and get started on building these. We're going to go ahead and start with the first one. We'll show you how to build it. So as for the first method, what we're going to go ahead and do is get ourselves a couple foundations. You can make this as big or small as you want. It's all up to you. You can continue this on lengthwise, sideways, it doesn't matter. Do it however you'd like. Get a foundation put down, start placing some walls, and then you're going to grab some elevator tracks. This method is probably one of the more expensive methods with these tracks, and you got to turn off snapping for this. You want to go ahead and hold Q. Get it sink down as low as you can. Get close to the edge. Do the same on the other side. Swap to the other side of the wall. Do the same thing. These don't have to be perfect. As long as the deadies can snap on top of it, it should be alright. By the time you get your first section done, it should look like this. Grab your dedicated storage. Go ahead and line that up with the edge of the wall on the outside on the left. Line it up. If you want these closer, you can always take it off and replace it. Get it lined up as straight as you can, and there you go. Move this. Line them up together to try to make it as neat as you can. That should work. That should that. As soon as you get all your dedicated storages put in, I'm sure you'll want to put walls or ceilings all the way around this. Just to block it off, hide the internals to this. Go ahead and get your quarter ceilings or full ceilings, however you want to do it. I personally use quarters since I'm not in the main game. And go ahead and surround the whole thing. This is what it'll look like by the time you're done. Like I said, you can bring this all the way out or further over. Just need more rails to go ahead and extend that. But you will have this beam going between every section. Let's go ahead and move over to the second one. This one is a little more interesting. It doesn't stick up flush with the floor nearly as close as the other one does, but it is still a handy little deal. It's just whatever method you want to use. Some are more expensive, some are less. When it comes to material cost, let's go ahead and get this one built for you guys. Now with this method, same as before, a couple foundations, should be all good. Go ahead and put you up a wall in the back just to have a little support and be able to line things up. What you want to go ahead and do is grab some crop plots. What you're looking to do is go ahead and grab 3 of these. Go ahead and use the snap method, don't freehand this. Place 3, just like that. And then you want to grab tables. Turn snapping off again. Try to get it lined up as best you can. And once you have one table set, just go ahead and extend this however you want. This is another one of those things that you got to turn snapping back on for the crop plots. Make this as big of a floor as you possibly can. You can even work side to side. Tables snap together nice and clean. And now that snapping is back on, just make a row of tables. And then from there, you just want to grab your crop plots, your dedicated storages again. Go ahead and snap one to the back wall. Turn snapping back on. Oh, it's already on. There you go. And then this, just place however many deadies as you want. As long as there's support from the tables and the crop plots underneath, you're good to go. But one thing to know about this is if you're trying to do this building above water, you cannot place crop plots in water. If it's down in the water, you cannot do this. So as long as you're floating outside of water, even if it's just above, you can use this method. But that's the only downside about this method. It is very clean. I do enjoy it, and it looks nice, especially once you get your walls set up around it. And if this is sunk into the floor or raised, I'm sure you're gonna have ceilings and stuff going around as well. So there's multiple methods to this. Use whichever one suits you best. The only one bad thing about this is they are below once you place your ceilings. But not by much. There's just a small gap, but it still looks very clean. This is one of my preferred methods as long as I'm not in water. And then moving over to method number 3. This one and the very first one both work in water, by the way, but this one is a little different. Let's go ahead and get that slapped down for you and I'll show you what I mean. This one, as long as you have, like, this works for water very well, because if you have underlying support at the bottom, this works out really nice. But once you get one foundation, what you want to go ahead and do is grab your ramps, and then you want to go ahead and press R. You go for the smaller one. That's how you want that to look. You don't want the long ramp that sticks up even further. And then the next step is to go ahead and grab your quarter ceilings. You cannot do this with full ceilings. You have to use quarter, and you can make it out as far as you want. Like I said, this is probably your better water method, or however you want to do this. And again, grab your ramps and overlay this one over the other. Now with this method, you want to go ahead and put a ceiling on the side, then grab your tables again. We're going to turn snapping off and try to line this table up the best we can in the middle. Make it go straight to the edge of your lower ramp. There you go. Then now you have to freehand the other one. See about how much gap you have on the front. Go back here. Get your tables out again. I'd say probably about there. Should keep it about even. And the good thing with this, the dedicated storages should snap on these. Just grab the high point, not the lower snap. The lower snap will mess you up on this. Turn snapping back on for your deddies. And as long as you keep ramping past this, you'll be able to continue this row. Make it as wide as you want. Tables will snap together. Just in case you need to see that, we can go ahead and grab a full-size ceiling, do our ramp again, and then of course we'll grab a table. And then continue your other method with the rest of the ramps to continue over. Grab your deddies, and they'll snap together. And they get very flush with the floor. This is probably my favorite water method, just in case I'm building above water. And this can work above dry, it doesn't matter, but it gets very flush, but you do have a little side gap at your beginning and probably on the other side. Now for the fourth and final method, it's very simple. For the fourth and final, we'll just move right over here. Place you a foundation, grab some quarter walls, not ceilings this time. And with this method, all you're using is a table. It's very cheap, not too much work goes into it. Turn snapping off and cover an entire floor. So with this, you can go ahead and grab your deddies, get it squared up in the corner there, and then turn snapping back on and create you a really clean floor, sealing it off. This one doesn't get nice and flush like the other ones, but it also doesn't raise it up too high. You still walk right over it, just raises you up just a hair. So if you guys enjoyed this, go ahead and leave a thumbs up for the video. Leave a comment down below. It really helps the algorithm pick up my video. Share it with some friends, and I'll see you guys next time.